Great, hi everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Aubrey Gallegos. I'm the Director of Community Engagement and Education at POV. So today, the webinar today, we're going to be focusing on All the Difference and just give an overview of our campaign. I think most of you are probably familiar with the film, but we'll do a little overview and show the trailer. And then this is a really exciting and really big campaign for us. So we're just going to go over some of the tools and resources and opportunities that we have with this film to engage communities in conversations and action around first-generation college students and the challenges and successes faced by students of color on the path to college graduation. As I said, my name is Aubrey Gallegos. There's a photo if you'd like to have a visual of what I look like. I'm the Director of Community Engagement at POV, and I think, again, many of you are familiar with POV, but just for those of you who aren't, we're a documentary series on PBS. We broadcast social issues, independent documentaries. We're a curatorial series, so we get more than 1,000 submissions from independent filmmakers every year, and we select just between 14 to 16 films to broadcast on PBS. So it's very competitive, and All the Difference was one of those films that we selected this year, and we're incredibly honored to have it as part of our 29th series on PBS. A few other things that we do, our mission really is to take the films beyond just their national broadcast on PBS and use them as a tool for education and change. We have a 15-year track record of using films for that purpose. So we partner with leading organizations, PBS stations, schools, community groups, influencers to use our documentaries as a platform for discussion and action around today's most pressing social issues. So to that end, we partner with folks across the country to do more than 600 screenings of POV films every year. And we also produce special educational materials to go with each film. So every film gets a discussion guide, a lesson plan that has streaming clips, and a reading list. And I'll go over those with All the Difference and talk about some special resources that we have with this film as well. And we are in the midst of our 29th season, which continues on PBS this fall, and we air on Monday nights at 10 p.m. to check your local listings. So All the Difference is a film that we're really excited about for a number of reasons. This is a film that looks at issues of race and education, opportunity and achievement gaps, and the college process. All important national conversations that are national and global conversations. And we hope that this film can be a part of catalyzing change around these issues. This film also goes off of kind of continues the conversation and the momentum built by a film that we've had a few years ago called American Promise, which followed two young African-American boys in New York City from elementary school all the way through high school graduation as they were then about to go off to college. And it looks at the challenges that they face as young Black men going through the education system. So this film really continues on that conversation, looking at what happens when you actually get into college and the challenges that you continue to face in college and the importance of having support that lasts beyond high school graduation. The film is directed by Todd Blending, who is an Academy Award nominated director, and he's had other films on POV before. And we're also really excited about the executive producing team. The film was inspired actually by Wes Moore's book, The Other Wes Moore. If you're not familiar with Wes Moore, he's an incredible man. He's a New York Times bestselling author of two books, The Other Wes Moore and The Work. He's also the founder and CEO of Bridge EdU, which is a really unique first-year college program that helps students make what is often a very challenging transition to college and help make that easier for them. And then the co-executive producer of the film is Joy Thomas Moore, who you may guess is actually Wes Moore's mother. She's been an incredible champion of the film and a huge resource for the campaign. She's the president and CEO of JWS Media Consulting. She's worked with the Annie Casey Foundation. And of course, she's also gone through the college process with her own students. So she is very well versed in these issues and a great resource. The film is broadcasting on PBS on September 12th, and we'll talk a little bit more about the broadcast. But before we get into that, I'll just go ahead and play the trailer so that you can get a feel for the film if you haven't seen it. And this will be preceded actually by an introduction by Wes Moore that is available if you're interested in using this film introduction that he did in your own work. So we'll go ahead and show the trailer and Wes's intro. So as you can see from the trailer, in telling Robert and Krishan's stories and the successes and challenges that they face through throughout their college careers, the film, it definitely champions their individual drive, but it does not reduce their stories to a pull yourself up by your bootstraps tale. It shows that success is really the product of an enormous level of support from a variety of sources: parents, grandparents, teachers, administrators, peers, community members, and shows that solutions to the achievement gap in graduation rates and post-secondary success really require a multifaceted approach. And the great thing about the film too is that Robert and Krishan they're very charismatic and incredible role models. So students get a real picture of the challenges that they may face in college, but they also see the real stories of success and can learn from Robert and Krishan about how they can find their own path to success through college. So with the film, as I mentioned, we really want to use this as a campaign, as a platform for our campaign to raise awareness and action around a few key themes. The first is just to reframe the narrative. This is like I said, this is a story of success, and it's a great counter narrative to the idea that especially young Black men are dropping out of school and not making it through high school and college. This film shows that is not true, that young Black men and students of color and first generation college students can and are succeeding, but that there's a real need for support along the way. We want to highlight the achievement and opportunity gaps that are faced by students of color, students from low-income backgrounds, and especially young Black men. And also highlight the unique and specific challenges that are faced by first-generation college students who don't have the built-in resource that students do who have family members who have completed college. And then, as I mentioned, really talking about the importance of support networks, that this is something that students need. Family, they need educators, they need as many different sources of support as possible to help them through college and college graduation. And that it needs to be early. We know that college prep really starts even before students start school at all, and needs to extend beyond high school graduation through all 4 years of college. And there are real and serious challenges, but as Robert and Krishan show, success is definitely possible. Our target audiences for the film and for the campaign there are three main groups. Of course, students, so students of color, young Black men, and first-generation college students who are going through the college process themselves. Education professionals, so anyone who's working with students, teachers, guidance counselors, administrators, mentors. Study after study has shown the influence and impact that education professionals have on students and on their success. So we really want to reach educational professionals with the film and the resources that we have. And then, of course, family and caring adults, parents, friends who are going through this process with students, and hopefully we can offer them some resources to navigate that process. So as I mentioned, we have resources that we create for every film, but for this film in particular, we are really happy to be able to offer some unique resources that are designed to translate Robert and Krishan's stories into hands-on tools that students, educators, and family members can use every day throughout the college process. So this is thanks to CPB, an American Graduate, the National Black Public Media Consortia, and the Wine Co. Foundation. The first resource that I want to highlight is a college-bound student's handbook. So this is an online interactive handbook that I'm going to show you in just a moment that is designed for first-generation college students. It's introduced by Wes Moore. You'll see an introduction similar to the one that we played before the trailer, but it's designed specifically for students. So Wes is talking to first-generation college students. And this handbook, and I'll go ahead and show it to you right now, is designed to take students through the entire process, from the very beginning when they're considering whether or not they even want to go to college and if it's the right path for them, to figuring out then what kind of college they should go to if they decide that's the path for them. And then it takes them through all their entire college career, all the way through the very end when they're then thinking about grad school and careers. So this is what it looks like right here. The handbook was written by Dr. Marcia Cantarella. She's the author of I Can Finish College, the Overcome Any Obstacle and Get Your Degree Guide, which is a great resource if you haven't seen that. And she's really the perfect person to write this handbook. She has been senior administrator, dean, and vice president at schools like NYU, Princeton, Hunter. She co-directs the CUNY Black Male Initiative at Hunter College, and she's also, she chairs the advisory board for the all-male Eagle Academy schools. She has extensive experience with this issue and is really the perfect writer for this handbook. So she takes students, like I said, through all 4 years of college or more if it takes them longer. The beginning here is an introduction, again, with Wes Moore's intro for students. And then there are a number of chapters here. So over here in the sidebar, you can see a table of contents, and you can really see that this really does take you through the whole college process. There's an intro that goes through the film and Robert Hirschon's stories. Also explains kind of the content and the format of the handbook. There's some unique things about this handbook, like we have these vocabulary words highlighted in yellow for vocab words that students may not be familiar with that they can then go look up. There are also, there's also a scoring system, so wherever you see this pencil icon, this is an activity that students can do and they get points for doing the activity, and then at the end they can add up their points and look at their score, and that'll tell them kind of how they're doing on their journey and where they could improve and what they still need to do to follow what they need for success. Then we have 6 main chapters, and again, this starts at the very beginning, thinking about expectations about college, looking at possible career paths and academic majors, who to reach out to for support, how to network. One thing that I really like about this guide is that it also goes through the challenges that students will face. So there's a chapter on slips, stumbles, and getting up again. Looking very honestly at some of the mistakes, some of the challenges that a student might face, and how to get up again, how to work through those. Anyone who's been through college remembers that managing time and studying smart are 2 of the biggest challenges that you face. I know I did. So there are tips in here for students on how to do that. And then getting to the end game looks at once you see the light at the end of the tunnel and you're about to graduate from college, thinking about grad school and applying for jobs and how to find your career center and how to go through that whole process. Then there's the score system. There's also a tagline index for the clips. This handbook has 31 clips embedded in it that are a mix of clips from the film, clips that were created specifically for the handbook, and then clips that are a mix of footage from the film and footage created specifically for the handbook. So I'm just going to highlight real quick so you can get a feel for this, one particular part of the handbook. So in the Slip, Stumbles, and Getting Up Again chapter, you can see each chapter has subtopics. We're going to look at the Managing Crises subtopic, and then Academic Crises, and we're going to go into learning how to be resilient. So, and I will mention too that on the side on the right here, you can navigate these subtopics with the little dots over on the side, so you can jump to the subtopics by clicking on these dots. So this section is on academic crises. If you've seen the film, you know that Robert and Krishan both experienced this, and it just talks through, you know, if this happens, here's some ways that you can work through it and who to turn to for help. I'm going to show a clip here. This is the embedded clip for our section here on learning how to be resilient. This is Robert and Krishan talking about this topic. So each of the clips has that tagline at the end of different things that make all the difference for students. And one of the things that we think is especially powerful about the handbook is that it's one thing to read about resiliency in the text. It's another thing to hear about it directly from two students who have gone through it. So we hope that the handbook can be a companion for students throughout their whole college career and help them to feel like they're not alone in this process, and that there are other students who've gone through this and that they can see and hear from them throughout all 4 years of college. And you can see that after the clip, there's a text box here with a follow-up question that students can ask themselves about what difference do support networks make for Robert and Krishan, and what difference do they make in their own lives. So there are ways for students to really interact here. You can see that there are more clips. And then there are also suggested activities. There's a hands-on problem-solving activity. There are links to other blogs and articles. It's really an extensive resource for students. Then we also have, as for educators, we have a facilitator's guide. This was also put together by Dr. Marcia Cantarella. And this is designed to give teachers and educators and administrators a tool to be able to help students use the online handbook. So the facilitator's guide looks similar to the handbook, but it has tips, strategies, and activities and homework for educators to use with students. So it walks them through the handbook with students and then has embedded strategies and tips for them on how to use this with students. So again, there's an introduction from Wes, which would be the same one that we watched today. And then it goes through, again, the background of the film and the characters. We have a table of contents, and you can see that it goes through all 6 chapters of the film, but with some special features for facilitators. In the introduction, there's an addition of a message to parents, which you could send home in a letter to parents. There's an open letter to families. You can take us over here. Speaking specifically to family members of students that you can also send home. And then it also has conversation starters. So there's specific questions that teachers can pose to their students. In each chapter, there are homework assignments that teachers can send students home with to use the handbook at home. There's also tips for facilitators, things like tell your own story, personalize it for students. Teachers can use the full film. There's tips for how they can use the full film and then use the handbook as a companion to that. We know that a lot of teachers don't have time to devote multiple class periods to this, so this has some tips for them on how to send students home to use the handbook on their own time. And again, both of these resources are designed to be used over the course of many years. So it's a big resource and not something that's meant for one sitting, but something that's meant to be a companion to teachers and to students over many years. Then the other resource that we have that we're really excited about are family tip sheets. These were written by executive producer Joy Thomas Moore, again, Wes Moore's mother. Having gone through the process herself, she is an excellent resource for this. So these are family tip sheets. It's 10 tips that Joy put together, taking families of first-generation college students through the process and offering some suggestions and helpful advice from the mother of children who've gone through college themselves, and some of the challenges and some of the things that they can expect. So there's a letter from Joy introducing the tip sheets, and then you can see here we have 10 tips that start from nurturing your first generation college students' ambitions all the way through what all 4 years are going to be like and what it's going to be like when your student is looking at college graduation. It also goes through financial aid, the FAFSA, the pluses and minuses of Parent Plus loans, whether community college is a good fit for your student. I also like that, again, it's very candid about some of the challenges that you'll face, that parents might get a call from their student melting down in their first year, and that's okay, and how to manage that meltdown call. So it's really got the great personal voice of Joy, and is paired with some really great resources and articles. An excellent resource for any any parent of a first-generation college student who might be as daunted by the process as their student. So those are the resources that we have for our target audiences. Again, another main audience for this film, though, is general audiences. We hope to raise national and global awareness about these issues, and get everyone together around making a difference. So to that end, we're having the national broadcast premiere on PBS on Monday, September 12th, which is coming up very quickly, at 10 p.m. And we're excited that this is a special broadcast. It's part of Spotlight Education, which is a week of primetime programming on PBS that examines the challenges facing today's students and America's education system. So it features 11 films and documentaries from Nova, Frontline, PBS NewsHour, TED Talks, and All the Difference is actually kicking off Spotlight Education Week on the 12th. So we're really excited to have it be a part of that special initiative by PBS. One way that you can get involved is joining the conversation online leading up to, during, and after the broadcast. You can find us on Twitter at POV Docs and POV Engage, and the hashtags here, All the Difference PBS, Spotlight Education PBS. All the Difference is also part of American Graduate, Let's Make It Happen, which is an incredible initiative by public media, made possible by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting. And this is a long-term national public media initiative that's been going on for a few years now, to help local communities keep more students on the path to graduation, college, and careers. So it's really mobilizing public media stations and to work with communities to improve graduation rates and support students. So we're really pleased to be able to be a part of American Graduate. Great, so a few ways then that you can get involved with All the Difference. One really great way is to host a screening. We have a DVD lending library, and we're lending out the film for free through our lending library. I'll take you through the steps in just a moment, but we have been hosting screenings of this film over the last year at least, around the country, working with really great partners like City Year, and a number of wonderful partners, including PBS stations and nonprofits and educators across the country who are screening the film in their classrooms, in their workplace, in their communities. We hosted a screening, we've been working with PBS stations, we hosted a screening with PBS SoCal in Los Angeles in July, and Wes Moore, Robert, Krishan came out for that screening and did a Q&A. And what was really cool about that is that we also worked with hip-hop artist Che Rhymefest Smith, who performed for the screening as well, which was really exciting. He's also from Chicago, and has a great nonprofit youth arts program. So we showed the film and then had a Q&A afterwards, and our executive director, Justine, went to the screening, and she said that afterwards she saw a high school student go up to Robert and Krishan with tears in their eyes and say, he said to them that your story is my story, and you've shown me that I can do it. So we know that this film can have a real impact on students who may be daunted by the college process, but can be inspired and hopefully empowered by the film. So I'll just show you real quick. We'll send links to everything after this, but we have a partner toolkit for All the Difference that goes through all the steps to host a screening. It's kind of like a free version of Netflix. You go online, you register in our community network. We have all the steps right here. You register the screening, we'll send the DVD to you along with the resources. You just send it back after you're done. Really simple process. These can be big public screenings for hundreds of people, or it can be a private screening at your school or in your office, really whatever works for you. We also have a toolkit here with all of the resources that you would need to host and promote a screening, and then links to the resources that I just explained, the student handbook, the facilitator's guide, and the parent tip sheets. We also have a number of tools to help spread the word. That's really one powerful way to get involved is we are hoping to get as many eyes on the PBS broadcast as possible and to get these resources into the hands of as many students, educators, and family members as possible. Social media is a great way to do that, so we've created a social media toolkit that has suggested language, images, videos, GIFs like the one that you're seeing right now. So we'll send a link to that. Again, we have this partner toolkit that has all of the resources on one page as well. And then we have a toolkit specifically for the education materials. So we'll send links to all of those. But as much as you can share these resources word of mouth, on social media, in newsletters, it really goes a long way. Actually, before we get to questions, I just want to highlight too, I mentioned that we have these resources that we create for every film, which include, in addition to the 3 special resources we created for this film, we also have a discussion guide, a lesson plan, and a reading list. So the discussion guide is intended for screening facilitators to use with general audiences. This has a long list of discussion questions to lead a conversation after screening the film. It also has basic background information going through achievement gaps and what the experience like is for first-generation college students, some facts and stats that help contextualize the personal stories that you see in the film. There's a taking action section to kind of harness that energy that people have after they see a film and say, gosh, what can I do? How can I get involved? We have steps that they can take. And a resources section highlighting some of the great partners that we've worked with and other organizations that people can turn to learn more and to get involved. We also have a lesson plan that we'll be posting soon that is designed for middle school and high school classes. We know that the College Bound Student Handbook is a huge and incredible resource and probably not one that teachers could use in one class period. So the lesson plan is going to take that and compress it into one 50-minute class period with homework for teachers to be able to use the handbook with their students to help prepare them for college. It's Common Core standards aligned, and it links with the clips that are embedded in the handbook. Great. I think that is everything, unless I've missed something, but I don't think that I have. If anyone has questions, we have a little bit of time here. I'd be happy to answer questions. You can post these in the chat bar over here, and I'll just take a look and answer questions as I read them. One thing too that I'll mention as folks are considering whether they have some questions here, there's another way that you can bring this film to your organization or students. Aside from hosting live screenings, you can also use this platform that we're using right now, OV, to host an online social screening. So this is a unique platform. What you can do is you can schedule a screening through OV. It would show up in the screen just like you're watching right now, but you could show the full film and then have a conversation during the film and after the film. Partners who've done this in the past have gotten panelists who can help lead that conversation, can post links like we've been doing to the resources. We can also help sometimes in getting the folks in the film or the film team to join those conversations, or we can connect you with other partners across the country. So this is a really great resource if you have affiliates or chapters or staff across the country who couldn't get together for a live screening, but could set aside a couple hours or an hour to have an online screening and discussion. So if you're interested in any of these opportunities or just want to talk to us more about how you can get involved with the film, you can email us. My email's right here. We'll also send around an email so that you can reach out and contact us. And we're really excited to talk to you all about how you can work with this. Oh, great. So there was a good question about whether you can purchase the DVD. It's not currently available for purchase. We don't quite yet have a distributor in place, but I know that we will, so we'll keep folks updated. The best way to stay updated is to join our newsletter, which you can do at pov.org, and then we'll send updates on that. So if you want to use the film right now, the best way is to go through our screening process. So like I said, we'll send an email with the links, but that's the best way to get the DVD right now. And you can use the film as many times as you'd like. We just ask that at the very end you return it to us, to our loving library. Great, so yeah, so Lindsay, we love Lindsay. Hi, Lindsay. Our great partner from KCPT was saying that if folks are interested in hosting screenings, what's the best way? So I'll just show you here on the partner toolkit, which we'll send a link to. The best way to host screenings is through our DVD lending library. So the steps are right here under host a screening for free. You're going to register in our community network. That'll create an online profile, a POV account that you can log into. Then you can just log into your account, register your screenings, and as soon as we see that registration come in, that tells our team to send the DVD out to you. Then you screen the film and then just send it right back to us. So that's the best way to show the film right now. And again, we'll send these as links so that you have it in an easy place in your inbox. Oh, that was a great question, whether the family tip sheets are available in Spanish. They're not currently available in other languages, but I know that that's something that we are interested in and are looking at opportunities. So again, we'll keep you updated. If you join our newsletter, that'll be the best way to get updates on that. But we do hope that we'll be able to translate them into Spanish and other languages. Great, so I think that was all the questions so far. Again, if you have any others, I'll just pull this up again. Feel free to email me, Eliza Licht, who's the Vice President of Content Strategy and Engagement at POV. She's actually at the screening of All the Difference right now at the Reginald F. Lewis Museum, so in Baltimore. So she wasn't able to join us, but you can also email her. My colleague Alice Quinlan is also part of our team. She is silently by my side right now. But you can email any of us, and we are more than thrilled to talk to you about this film. We really hope that this can have a long and lasting impact on students anticipating college and really help them on their path. So thank you again, everyone, for joining. We hope to hear from you and hope to work with you, and thank you for your support of the film and the campaign. All right, take care.